Discussion, resolution of Village University Park.
Oh, wait.
Well, sorry.
Madam Mayor, do you think this is an item that
will-
might be coming?
Yes, ma'am. On the next
regular
final
agenda?
agenda, yes.
Okay.
This is one. This is another one, Matt. Okay. Discussion resolution of the Village University Park, Village Cook County, Illinois, authorizing and approving the acquisition of a web server agreement from Revise LLC, aka Revise Software Systems Revise. Discussion? Amount of money.
Should we get a summary so we can?
Yes.
There we go.
Madam Mayor,
You're on stage, sir.
I'm sorry.
It's turning. Where's the other guy? Here he is. Got it.
I'm sorry, was there a question or you just wanted to?
Yes, explanation, because it's for discussion.
Um,
This is, everybody can understand.
One of the issues we had with the website was it was a 10-year-old website. The platform was not mobile accessible. So we've been looking at moving to, we're looking to upgrade it with our current vendor. But that price plan was probably about double the price that this company has. This company is offering a mobile platform. You know, most people access the website on their cell phones or iPads. So this one will have a mobile accessibility to it. It also has dynamic features where we can add icons. We can add shortcuts for, say, if we want to put something on there for the Southland Chamber of Commerce. We can put something on there for Governor State. It can be added dynamically as opposed to before we had to go and do a rebuild of the homepage. Also, a redesign is included every 4 years, so we won't have the same static looking website like we have for the past 10 years. It's automatically going to be upgraded, changed, and the best part about it is I can get trained on it. But this website is actually a lot more dynamic, meaning we can change it, we can add to it, we can put different features on there. If we're getting input from the community that they want to see something on the homepage, it can be done as opposed to before. You know, it was pretty much a cookie cutter website. The best part about it is that we're saving $20,000 over the life of the contract. And I think that's probably something that everyone wants to hear as well.
Are we going too far by saying that with this, we can start airing the board meetings on the website? Is that too far down?
Well, that's the second project, but yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
absolutely.
You know I'm good. I said, when we had this discussion, Daryl and the chief, I would like the village to be paperless. I would like, I did talk to, a couple of people before with the chief on the phone, that we do a lot of the PDF formats. I don't want anything, all monies go through there, PayPal, there should be no exchange. That way we can run reports, automatic reports. You download the PDF, everything's in a PDF format except the license. That means stickers, dog tags, everything, the button, a communication back and forth, web-based. Turnaround time should be instrumentically. They can, alerts can be on there. And I would like it to feed, it's a live feed and go straight to phones because people don't look at all their emails all the time. They will, just like Aqua has they sent that in the mail about text messages. If you like to do text, everybody would read their mail and see that. That's a feature that they have. I get it with ComEd. If any lights are out, I get a text message on the phone. I want the same thing. If there is a burglary or whatever, they'll be able to get it from the website. Any of our department heads come on there and tell them there's a tree down or whatever, they'll get a text response. And I know the form, that way they'll save us a lot of money. turnaround time, and especially the forms, that we're paying all this money for these forms, and we can just download a PDF, send it out, they respond back, get it, come pick it up.
Okay.
So it's much less paper. We're spending tons of money on printers, inkjets, everything. It's just too expensive, and whereas we can do e-news, have our newsletter online as well. So, and I think that we should have we should be hosted a lot cheaper than we have it right now. That host is just too much. That's ridiculous. Amazing. We're not 50,000 people. It's just too much. Okay?
Mayor, just so you're aware, this is the same organization that we had that webinar.
Oh, the webinar? Yeah. Oh, this is that guy.
And the
Okay.
website has all the specifications that you've requested.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that's the guy, and he was a lot cheaper too.
Yes.
So, okay. Question?
So I'm looking at this, just for clarity for myself. So I'm looking at Revise as the web design company, right? Is that right?
Yes.
And then there's a list talking about applications and features. I guess this is the stuff the mayor is talking about, the email notifications. But then the next page says service and license agreement for University Park. Is that that's the license agreement for Revised Web Design?
That's correct.
Okay, so then now there's a redesign project deliverables. That's 5,700. I'm looking at a sheet that says.
Trustee, I think you're looking at the second quote. We put, that's the second quote from the other company. That was part of the board.
That's from the Civic.
Oh, so that's where I was confused, because at the top of the page,
It says City Plus.
Yes, different
Oh.
company.
It's different cut.
okay, so,
Yeah, that was 3 bids, right?
Right.
yeah, so I don't see, I can't see it, I need some help. I need help. Cause, okay, so this one, okay, cause I asked if this was a
Much more expensive.
license agreement, cause this one has Village of University Park, and I see a bunch of.
That's our current provider, which is much more expensive.
Yes.
The current provider,
Yes.
Right.
Civic Plus,
Yes.
so their total was, where is their total at?
Civic Plus is $42,340.86.
Thank you, but where can I see that on my
You
page?
have to do the calculations that are in the quote.
Oh, when I add those, first year, 8,600, second year, okay, so that's that. So that's who we use now, and then who you're recommending is the revised company.
Yes, ma'am.
And so the mayor has mentioned okay, so the total payment here is for 11,200, that's for 4 years? Because the other company broke it down for 1 year payment, 2 year payment, second year, third year, 4 year. This doesn't, the one for Revise doesn't say first year, second year, third year, 4 year. So I just wanna, because this, on Revise, this has a grand total of 11,200. Okay, so that 11,200 is for year 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's 2. Did we get it there?
The third is not required, it's under $5,000 a year.
Yeah, because it's.
Okay,
It's under 5,000.
okay. Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I have one que- actually, I have 2 questions. There's a $2,400 payment and an $1,800 payment. That, it doesn't have one-time cost, that's what you got to pay every month, every year.
Yeah, one time install.
Yes, it says site map development and content migration.
No, that's just a migrate from the old website.
Okay, so that's a one-time charge.
That's a one-time job.
And the software subscription for $1,800, is that annual?
That is.
Okay.
And anyone that wants to add anything to it, any ideas that the board might have, they want to see, please. I heard some things from the audience before, and I tried to fold that in there. I also would like that, like I like the quick buttons, I like translingual, the audit trails, I like the history, in case, like today when the trustee asks for a report or something, you should be able to hit a button and look at the report, you can pull it up right now. That's going to be helpful to our finance as well. There's another one I had a question about. Oh, Sue reports. Exactly, when I look for, let's say, how much was collected today? When they're gonna have options that we'll be able to check the report just by that. Whatever's taken in, like I said, I'd like it all done automated. So if I push a button saying, okay, how many people, how much was collected today for license, bam, I should get a total.
Mayor,
Everything should be put in the system,
separate
correct?
application as a.
That's what I'm saying. I know that
Separate
is.
application embedded, which we currently have, and I have no problem in
Okay.
providing that information.
Okay. All
We're
right.
looking to get that, Mayor, is about a $400,000 upgrade to our fund balance system, replacing that. So that's where all of the financial information reside.
Mhm.
The website is only a conduit in order to deposit information or as an intermediary or directly into the
Right,
fund
that's what I'm
balance
saying.
system.
And yeah, it should be merged in. We using a separate sequence server, or are we having a special server just for this?
It's a sequel.
A sequence server? Okay. All right. Anybody, like I said, you have the trustees, if you have any other ideas that you'd like embedded in this, let us know. And we can, you think we'd be ready to put this on the next agenda? Everyone give an input in a week? Okay.
The only issue I have, Mayor, is if we're 40.
We're going down.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about $11,200 for this fiscal year that we're talking about.
No, it's broken down into 4-year plan.
4-year plan.
So the 4-year plan, because I saw a $5,700 upfront fee, and so are you saying then that the $4,150 for years 1 through 4 doesn't start until our next fiscal year, which is 17-18?
It does.
So it's just $5,700 that we got to pony up this fiscal year. That's what the residents want.
Yeah, and yeah, we really do, so we can, and the GPS system, that will be, how much memory, how many gigas? Right. Pardon me?
GIS system,
Yes,
it'll be integrated.
that needs to be uploaded immediately, because people have been asking about that, and that's something we pay for from our engineers, and it works nationally. Okay. All right, that was it. So that'll be a topic. Clerk, teacher, for the next. Yes, ma'am. And everyone, if you have any other ideas, please submit them this week. Okay, discussion of budget year 2017-18. Open. I know we really haven't had a lot of time to look at it. So it's just yesterday, so do you want to, what's your feelings?
Let the board know that we received one
Yes.
electronically, and the one we got today is
Different,
different.
yeah.
Already.
So with that said,
Yeah, I think it would be appropriate if there was an issue.
The one that was sent to the board was specifically a draft that was sent.
Okay.
We've made changes. It's a very fluid and workable document. That's why we made changes and provided the board the document. So that's what
okay.
Mayor, it is a big step up from
Yeah.
where we have been
Exactly.
in terms of the reality of the budget. Now, there's some issues that, we got to resolve, but I know IR's development is working on it pretty hard. So there's some other things that we need to take a look at and make sure that they're included or accounted for properly. So, for example, one of the things that I discussed with the chief was that in the budget, it appears to be a deficit, but part of that
Yes.
deficit is because the $1.7 billion TIF loan is listed as having to be paid back, which is true, but then it wasn't offset with the revenue of $1.7 million that we received for the TIF loan. And as you're aware, the TIF loan gets paid back in monthly installments, and I think it'll be paid back by December. So there's some issues like that. But I want to make sure that everybody has enough time to make sure we have accurate numbers. We also met, for example, with the golf course to discuss their financials, and you know, they brought some things to light, but they're in the process of preparing, revising their budget also, which will have an impact on the budget here, because for a change, it's accounted for in this budget, but it's listed as a $600,000 loss, and that's not where it's going to be. So it'll be a big improvement on that also, but at least it's in there. Other litigation,
Right.
liability potential is in there as well. So,
And this is, thank you very much, trustee. I saw something that I've not seen before. This is not, a lot of times we filter in our budget, thank you all, finance people, the liabilities for the insurance and the attorney fees. That's just not been in here. The last one was pretty bad, and I heard that that's really not the budget that you wanted to present, the one we got last time. So, is that correct? That's correct, thank you. And I wouldn't want this to get out there and be all confused, let's put it a nice way, or misunderstood. We need to have a chance to get on it and look at it, but at least it makes some sense, some of the figures that I saw. So there are cuts, we have a lot more in there than we had before. Like you said, this was the last one you tried to present wasn't accepted, and the board got a bad one. We shouldn't have gotten that one, and I'm glad that you got this one done and you worked with Chief Pate on that. Thank you, Chief Pate, for getting these numbers out here in reality. And we will go through this more because I think it's a little more than we need to look at. Yes, sir.
To be clear, on the last budget, we were not made aware of.
I'm sorry. Did somebody give him a mic?
I said, just to be clear, on the last budget, we were not made aware of a lot of the debt. And so we assured that all of the debt was included in compiling the budget. I think John Daly can talk more to that since he's our go-to person on that.
Everything has been identified to this point, has been included. As more becomes available, more information becomes available, it will be included down the road. As Manager Pate had said, this is a working document. Any budget is a working document until a point in time when you get it finalized.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay if I inform the public that since all of these items have been brought to the public tonight, the full agenda packet for the regular meeting of May 28th will be posted on the website when it's distributed to the board.
Thank you.
Madam.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, just a second. Trustee?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I had one question about the budget. Is there any money budgeted for capital improvements in regards to repairs at the town center?
So as far as capital improvements in the town center, this budget does not include capital improvements, number one, because we're 6 months into the budget year right now. At this point, it's very difficult to project capital improvements when the board has not approved the budget for 6 months. I've directed the finance department as well as IRH to look at capital, including capital improvements in the 18-19 budget year. At this point, we're looking at trying to get this budget passed as required by law and have the board provide with an accurate budget, which is, I think, is very essential. The village, based on this draft budget today, we're still $2.7 million in the red.
2.9 billion.
Now,
No, you're right, 2.7, I'm sorry, Manager. Chief. I had another question, actually is more of a suggestion in regards to trying to tie our budgeting process with the lease provisions and capital improvements to the town center. I think we ought to try and tie the three together and have 3 years plans for all leases and also have a 3-year plan to improve the town center. That way we can, at the end of it, we can begin to charge more rents if we're going to keep it reduced due to problems or issues at the town center. That's why I think it's vitally important that we include town center repairs and talk to the lease agreements and trying to come up with a plan to make sure it can occur over 3 years, so it's all tied together.
Understood. So the current leases that we're currently negotiating are going to be multi-year leases. They're not going to be one-year leases. They will be 3-year, multi-year leases. As far as maintenance on the town center, there has been issues that have been brought to my attention. We're currently getting quotes and bids in regards to HVAC repair, roof leaks in various units, roadway issues. So we are developing that plan, trustee, and that plan will be most likely presented to the board in the next budget year. Unless something miraculously happens and we get extra money to do that, then we'll take care of it. At this point, we're really dealing with a bare bones budget. And the board has to be made aware that at this point, we have a $2.7 million deficit. So in the next month or so, the board is gonna have to make some very difficult decisions in trying to project this budget, number one, to be accurate, number two, to make decisions in regards to balancing this budget. I will be making recommendations to the board after today via email. And those recommendations have to be discussed and most likely dealt with in the first board meeting in December.
Yeah, Mayor Covington, thank you. So this question is directed to IRH. So the actual year ends, the 2016-17 years, they have not been closed out. Are they actually closed? Your year end, your 2016-17 year, they have not been closed?
No.
Okay, so there are still adjusted entries that need to be made?
Correct.
Okay. Well, you know, what I see here, just from my, you know, analysis of this, that the postings for those bus shelters, I don't see any actuals in there as well, too. I know that those bus shelters have been receiving dollars. It looks like that the variance should actually come down a little bit due to the fact that I don't see any year-to-date actuals for those bus shelters. Also, too, those that TIF revenue that was used in 2016-17, I don't see any of that as well in there either. So I know that variance should actually, you know, squeeze a little bit tighter, you know, because I don't see these dollars.
Have you been given those shelters? The last check we just received this year was $7,000. Year before that was $14,000. So maybe have you received them? I'm sure they know about them. That's straight pure revenue. I got those when I got the shelters done. And that was something that Pace automatically gave us.
Madam Mayor, for the bus shelter.
Yes, ma'am.
We do have the revenue that I think is about $9,000 in the special fund for the bus shelters.
Okay, good.
We will include that in the budget as revenue.
Okay.
And as far as Treasurer Dilworth's question about the TIF loans, they are in the general operation.
Yeah, it was a tall, wasn't a tip loan.
We had a
$2.5
talk
million.
in the budget year of 16.
Put the mic.
In the budget year of 16, and then we took out a TIF loan for $1.7 million that was used for 17 budget. So we're paying it back in this year.
Is there a line item that actually shows this?
Yes. If you go to general operations, Fund 10, go to the bottom of the page where it says TIF loan,
Tip 5 loan.
TIF 5 loan.
Is it under title revenue?
No.
It's under expenditures.
Expenditures.
Yes. Go down, go to general operations.
Page 13.
Okay, so that's the loan, is what I'm saying. That is the loan. I understand that. That is an expense. but you also, when you're doing a trial balance, you actually gotta, you put together debit and credit, and you actually making sure that the village's books are actually balanced. If you don't put the revenue in there to show that that revenue was used, how are you going to make sure that is actually balanced?
The revenue,
If you're putting it just as an expense.
the $1.7 billion was used last budget. So keep in mind that we're in this current budget year, we're paying these dollars back. We have to show them as expenses.
Okay.
Now, you're talking about what you're referring to, you're probably referring to the GL, and that's the fund balances. I understand that. But right here, we're just showing us paying this money back.
I'll be over there to talk to you, okay? I'll be at Village Hall. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Tim? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mayor and Board of Trustees, IRH, I understand that we were putting together a budget that was 6 months behind. So my concern is if you're putting together a budget that already has a deficit in it, my concern is where we at year to date. Because nobody's been watching the house in terms of the budget from the beginning of the year to now. So my concern is, are we at 50% of that budget? Are we above the 50% of that budget? And are we gonna make it to year end? Or how are we monitoring this without this budget? Because if we're overspending, and you got a budget that's already 2.7 in the hole, and we halfway in the year, we should be looking at about 1.4 million in the hole, and depending on how we're gonna end the year out, we need to know. So I'm just wondering, where are we year to date versus this potential budget that you're bringing to the table? Because I'm concerned that you're gonna run out of dollars a lot earlier and I don't even think it's been projected, because what's actually being spent has not been discussed or brought to the table. So I understand you're approving the budget, but your focus right now should be on where you are in terms of the actual expenditures versus that potential budget that you bring to the table today.
Thank you.
So is it possible?
Wait.
Madam Mayor, or excuse me, Chief, if you, maybe some corrections you want to make on this, and I've been caught by 2 trustees already. For last year, we wasn't here, so is this trustee Larry, Griffin, and Rudez expenditures for the meeting training conference? Because we see that trustee Payton didn't go anywhere, trustee Wilson didn't go anywhere, but then you have the mayor, Brooks, McMullen, Liz, and then Oscar. This would be, they're not numbered ones. Yeah. So you may want to take a look at that.
That's 2016.
That's 2016.
Yeah. We weren't elected until 17.
Right. We weren't here. That was
No, she wasn't here.
yeah, you weren't here. That was the previous.
The previous, okay. So we just want to make sure those are the old trustees. Okay.
That'll be reflected in the next. Yes.
Yeah. I don't.
Because they weren't paying them.
Also, right. Oh, they were.
Go ahead.
Okay, and then, just you may want to take a look too. You do have the former chair of the Police and Fire Commission here. You may want to take a look at that. The number's about right, but they're kind of twisted a little bit. I'll reach out to you more. The testing, this looked more like the 20, I tried my best to stay on the budget. We had 12, I know that we had a 24,000 budget in 2016, but a 12 in 2015. But testing, that would be more accurate towards 2015. So maybe we can meet up. I thought I turned those bills in, the expenses as well. The training, if I'm not mistaken, my commission sacrificed 2 years of not going to training because majority of them were certified, so we may want to see what that 1,300 was for. Legal fees were a little bit higher because we had if I'm not mistaken, we had a disciplinary hearing. So we may want to take a look at this I think we spent less, so there may be more of an accurate of a 2015 number. But we can get it, that's why we're here, all right?
So to Mr. Savier's point, can we get a copy of, so it shows 2016 actual, 2017 budget, 2017 actual. Can we get 2018 year-to-date? We got the budget, and then can we get 2017? So we spent some of this money already, right?
Correct.
So can we get a copy of where we are today, or at least to the next run?
I'd like to
Address some of Mr. Sevier's concerns. One is, we fully realize that we had a major cash flow problem, not only for this year, but the previous year. And that's why we took out a TIF loan for $1.7 million, because we realized that last December, we wouldn't be able to make payroll. Now, the TIF loan that was taken out earlier is scheduled to be paid back by December. Is that correct, City? Right. And yes, we have done some cash flow analysis, and we are saying that we're going to need to have another either tax anticipation warrant, or we need to take out another TIF loan until we can get our overall house in order. It's not the preferred way to do it, but it's the only way that we're going to be able to survive until we can get everything put together. So I know the interim manager has been watching the budget, very carefully, and we fully realize that we're going to have a problem, and we need to deal with it by December this year. Now, in addition to that, this budget is very important because we have a levy that's got to be filed by Christmas. So we don't have a lot of time. So this is kind of a template of what the 18-19 budget is going to be. Yes.
Also. Excuse me?
I was going to add to what he said, and I'll be done. And I understand what you're saying, Trustee Payton, I get that, but here's my concern as a resident. If the lawsuits that we currently have going on in the TIFs, if we don't come up with a way to settle those or get some type of agreement in place prior to December or the end of the year, that TIF being paid back, because of the situation that you're in, you may not be able to borrow